During the Great Depression, we saw that federalism changed in its nature, right? We saw this sort of shift from dual federalism or layer cake federalism to shared federalism or marble cake federalism, with this shift of power from the states back up to the federal government. And this happened because FDR, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, was proposing all sorts of big national programs to help fix the Great Depression. And as we discussed, states were only too happy to say, Mr. President, please fix it for us. This national problem is way too big. Of course, we need national laws to do it. But this also normalized it. It made the public used to seeing the president intervene in national affairs. And they were used to seeing the president become a rallying point for domestic problems. So FDR would have these fireside chats where we'd get on the radio and talk to the public and say, this is what's happening now, and this is how I'm going to help fix it. So we got used to looking to the president as a rallying point, not just for international affairs, but also for domestic affairs. And of course, the more government programs that were created, the more the federal bureaucracy grew. That meant the more more administrators were put in the executive branch. Because as the president would have more laws to execute, the president would have to then have more people to execute these laws, right? More employees to execute them. And even if Congress had said, no, we'd like to do it, A, the Constitution would raise some big question marks there because it is the president who's supposed to execute them. But B, it would have just been impractical. Congress isn't set up for that. The presidency is. So this meant that we now had a president who was beginning to consolidate power in international affairs and domestic affairs. And because of that budgeting act, since the 1920s, had been able to propose the budget and therefore have a say in legislation. And this is how the presidency grew over the years to become something that we know today as a much more powerful position than merely chief clerk.